Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that definitely keeps marketers up at night. How do you cut through all that noise? The media landscape is just, well, chaotic. Getting attention is tough.
It really is. It's become a real art form, hasn't it?
Absolutely. So our mission today is to unpack the evolving world of media relations strategy, specifically how brands can effectively connect with journalists, looking ahead to 2025.
And it's not just about getting headlines, is it?
No, exactly. It's deeper. It's about building genuine, impactful relationships in this completely transformed environment.
Yeah, understanding the nuances.
Right. And to guide us, we're digging into a really compelling article from Forbes. It's titled 2025 Media Relations Strategy from Muck Rack's Journalism Study.
Oh, Muck Racks. Good data there.
Definitely. And the author is Lillian Raji. Now, she's a global luxury communications advisor, a fractional CMO.
Which means she brings that high-level marketing strategy, but flexibly, right? As needed.
Exactly. And for over 2 decades, through the Lillian Raji agency, she's advised top luxury brands. Plus, her Forbes column, The Pursuit of Luxury. It's always got these fresh takes on emotional marketing in the luxury space.
A really strong background.
For sure. So for the rest of this deep dive, let's refer to her as Lillian.
Okay, got it. And our goal here really is to pull out the crucial insights from Lillian's analysis. What do marketers, especially, in luxury, what do they absolutely need to get right now to navigate this, avoid the pitfalls, and actually build press relationships that, well, work?
Yeah.
Lillian really offers a map for this complex territory.
Okay, let's jump right in. Lillian talks about this Beyoncé strategy, the idea that brands can just bypass traditional media, go straight to the audience.
Then direct engagement.
It sounds amazing, right? Total control. Is this it? Is this the future for all brands? Just cut out the media?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And Lillian draws a really important line here, that direct Beyoncé-style approach. It absolutely can work for certain brand audience stuff, especially if, pros are handling it strategically.
Right.
But, and this is key new data from Muck Rack's 2025 State of Journalism report, suggests it doesn't just replace the need for real press relationships, particularly for luxury brands. They really rely on that third-party validation, that credibility that comes from editorial coverage.
That makes sense, the objective voice.
Exactly. If you're a startup, maybe, or DTC, it's tempting to think, yeah, we can skip the media. But the big mistake is thinking it gives you the same kind of authority. It just doesn't. So direct engagement has its place, for sure. But the Muck Rack data Lillian uses points to something deeper happening. It needs a more nuanced approach than just ditching the press.
So it's about understanding where direct works, but also why traditional media still has, well, power.
Precisely. Especially in certain sectors, it's not either.
It's how they work together. And, hearing about needing professional guidance, that leads perfectly into some of the cautionary tales Lillian shares, some truly astonishing missteps.
Oh, yeah. Some real examples of what not to do.
Okay, example 1. A journalist interviews the Lyft CEO. Afterwards, they get this scathing email.
Uh-oh.
The sender doesn't just critique. They demand a deep dive on my LinkedIn profile. They call the reporting drivel, and then
Wait for it.
they CC the editor-in-chief.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Accusing the publication of featuring weak leaders, questioning the CEO's credentials, mocking his nonprofit work, speculating readers are rolling their eyes.
Just digging the hole deeper and deeper.
And the kicker, the sender genuinely expected kudos for this email.
Kudos. That's unbelievable. Jaw-dropping, really.
Totally. And Lillian even shares a personal one. She was digitally hounded by someone with a grudge against Hermes.
Okay.
This person demanded she take down her coverage, bought meta ads to harass her, contacted her clients trying to discredit her because they got banned from Hermes stores.
Wow. That is wild. Talk about things going off the rails.
Right. And Lillian notes, ironically, it just drove more traffic to her article and created potential copyright issues for the harasser.
It just backfired completely. These stories really highlight what Lillian calls the danger of unchecked ego meeting smart money.
Explain that.
Well, she connects these specific cases to bigger ones, like Elon Musk firing his PR team, then causing chaos for Tesla stock with tweets, getting into trouble with the SEC.
All right, I remember that.
Or Kanye West firing PR firms right before those anti-Semitic comments that destroyed billion-dollar deals with Adidas and Gap.
Yeah.
In both cases, you see smart money colliding with this unchecked ego, and, well, the money often loses out in the end.
That's a powerful point. So why are PR advisors so critical then?
Because, as Lillian puts it, they're protecting the brand's reputation as much as managing relationships. Talking directly to journalists without that professional buffer, it's an entirely different game. So for you, the listener, the takeaway is stark. Professional PR can be the difference between success and, frankly, self-sabotage. It stops you from creating that negative press that takes years to fix.
It's about having someone who gets the dynamics, the psychology.
Exactly. Someone navigating the complexities before things blow up.
Agreed. The stakes are just too high.
Mm.
But let's flip the coin. What's happening on the journalist side? Lillian digs into their reality, and it sounds rough.
It really does. The Muck Rack study paints a picture of a profession under, well, immense pressure.
How so?
Externally, huge threats. A third of journalists see mis- and disinformation as the biggest danger. Another quarter point to the politicization, the polarization of journalism itself.
Yeah, those are massive societal issues landing on their doorstep.
Absolutely. And then internally, the pressure is intense too. Okay, 67% still find the work meaningful, which is good.
But
Nearly half, 47%, call it exhausting.
yeah,
A third, 33%, say it's precarious. And get this, 62% say their responsibilities have expanded way beyond just reporting. And almost 40%, 37%, reported layoffs or buyouts at their workplace in the last year alone.
oof, that's a lot. It really makes you think about the sheer volume they must be dealing with.
It sounds incredibly challenging, almost like brands are fighting a losing battle for attention.
So, given all that pressure, all that noise, what's maybe one piece of unconventional advice Lillian offers beyond just be relevant? Because clearly that's not always enough.
Right. Well, the hard truth Lillian highlights from the data is that the old spray and pray PR approach, it's worse than useless now. It's actively harmful.
Harmful how?
Because while, yes, 84% of journalists say some stories come from PR pitches, an incredible 86% hit delete immediately on irrelevant one.
86%.
Instantly. So if your pitch isn't hyper-targeted, you're not just wasting your time. You're probably burning bridges, damaging your reputation with that journalist.
Okay.
Think about this. Only 3% of journalists say they always get pitches relevant to their beat.
That's incredibly low.
It's why Lillian calls it an editorial Hunger Games. Radical relevance is the currency. And when 47% get 6 to 20-plus useless emails daily, and only 22% even regularly respond to pitches.
The window is tiny.
Exactly. So the unconventional advice, it really boils down to empathy. Understand their insane context, and then actively make their job easier. Your pitch needs to feel like a gift, not another burden.
That makes total sense. Earn the attention, don't just demand it. And it's not just what they're doing, but where. Lillian points out a big shift in social media use by journalists. Where are they now?
Yeah, this is fascinating. Safety concerns, worries about reputation. Over half of journalists say these issues are impacting how they use social media professionally. And that's led to a huge shift away from X, formerly Twitter. It used to be the main spot.
It used to be, yeah.
Now, a full 35% of journalists are off X completely. 72% don't trust it to treat their content fairly. And only 21% now see it as the most valuable platform. That's down from 36% just last year.
Wow, a steep drop. So where are they going?
LinkedIn is surging. 49% are spending more time there. And 60% rated as trustworthy. Instagram and Bluesky are also seeing more use.
Interesting.
What this means, as Lillian points out, is that the idea of one central town square for journalists, it's gone.
Right.
So for brands, for you listening, you have to diversify your engagement. You need to map where the journalists relevant to you are actually active and shift your resources. Sticking to old, static strategies won't cut it.
That's a big challenge, especially for brands maybe stuck in their ways.
Huge. So the question for your strategy is, are you meeting them where they are? Lillian's advice is practical. Try new storytelling formats for each specific channel. Don't just copy-paste your old Twitter stuff.
Tailor it.
Exactly. Engage thoughtfully with what journalists post. Amplify their work if it's relevant. Offer insights without an immediate ask. Use LinkedIn for thought leadership. Use Instagram for behind-the-scenes stories they might reference. Get on emerging platforms early.
It's about adapting to where they really spend their time.
Spot on. Align your strategy with the reality.
Really powerful advice. Adapt. Don't just broadcast. And speaking of new spaces, Lillian also flags this growing trend of journalists publishing independently. That sounds like it could open up whole new possibilities for brands.
It really could. The Muck Rack report shows 34% of journalists now publish independently, and 61% of those are monetizing it.
So they have their own platforms, their own newsletters.
Exactly. And this creates new channels for brand storytelling, especially if you're open to building maybe a more intimate relationship with writers who control their own editorial calendar.
How so?
Well, these independent journalists might be more open to things like longer-term content partnerships or exclusive access, maybe collaborative storytelling, things that traditional newsroom ethics might prevent at a big outlet.
I see. More flexibility.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But, and this is a crucial caveat, Lillian stresses, they must maintain their editorial independence and credibility.
Of course. Otherwise, the value is lost.
Precisely. It goes back to PR 101. A journalist isn't your friend, but can be an ally if your missions align. Lillian notes the smartest luxury brands support these independents through value-added partnerships. They recognize the journalist's authenticity is the reason they have an audience.
So for you, the listener, it's about finding these influential, independent voices that fit your brand and maybe exploring a different kind of relationship.
A deeper, potentially more collaborative one, yeah.
Yeah.
Understanding that possibility exists now more than ever.
Okay, so if we pull all these threads together, connect it to the bigger picture, what are the key traits? What defines the brands that are actually thriving in this new media relations environment beyond just tactics?
Lillian boils it down nicely into 3 core characteristics, not just tactics, but mindsets almost.
Okay.
First, precision targeting. Successful brands are obsessive about sending pitches only to journalists whose beat and published work genuinely align. Radical relevance over sheer volume. Use their work as your guide.
Relevance over reach. Got it. Second, platform agility. They're not stuck on one channel. They adapt dynamically. They go where the journalists are, diversifying outreach, especially if a major platform becomes, say, unreliable.
Makes sense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And third, a value-first approach. This is fundamental. They actively try to save journalists time. Clear relevance, easy access to experts, useful assets, well-organized info. The goal is to support, not add strain.
Little things can help.
Definitely. Lillian mentioned something as simple as sending interview transcripts afterwards. It builds huge goodwill, makes you more likely to get future coverage.
That's a great practical tip.
The overarching theme, the ultimate takeaway is this. Media relations in 2025 isn't just about pitching anymore. It's about partnership. When brands truly understand and respect the pressures journalists face, they shift from being just another pitch to becoming a valued ally. And that's how you earn coverage through genuine collaboration.
So courtesy, respect, empathy, preparation. Yeah. Those are the differentiators. They absolutely are. That's what separates success from being ignored, or worse, becoming one of those cautionary tales we talked about. These are the strategies you can implement for real impact right now.
That's a really thorough look at a complex, shifting landscape. It really hammers home that, yeah, empathy, relevance, and being strategically adaptable. Those are the keys today.
Which, leads to a bigger question, doesn't it?
Oh,
in a world where, everyone wants to be their own media channel, how do we make sure that true journalistic inquiry, that depth, continues to thrive? And how can brands actually contribute to that ecosystem rather than just, using it?
That is a really important question to mull over. How to be part of the solution, not just the noise.
Something for everyone to think about.
Absolutely. Well, for more of Lillian's fantastic insights, you can find the full article that's 2025 Media Relations Strategy from Muck Rack's journalism study right on Forbes.com.
Definitely worth a read.
And to dive even deeper into her analysis, especially on the luxury industry, you can visit her website at www.lillianraji.com. That's LILINRAJI.com.
Great resources there.
We really hope these insights help you approach your own media relations with renewed clarity and maybe some fresh ideas. Until next time on The Deep Dive, keep digging deeper.